You know it's bad when Family Guy roasts you so hard. Your PR team files a cease and desist before the credits roll. Yes, Katy Perry went to space, sort of. And in true 2020s fashion, it wasn't for science or history or exploration. It was for vibes, hashtags, and one perfectly placed daisy. What began as a feel-good PR stunt, a daisy, a spacesuit, and some cosmic mumbo-jumbo, just got brutally vaporized by the Griffins in a totally not leaked episode that's blowing up the internet. And here's the kicker. There's talk of a second Family Guy roast that makes the first look like a group hug. So if you thought Katie's Daisy in Space moment was the peak of cringe, wait until you see what Family Guy allegedly does to her in round 2. Let's just say it involves an airlock, a butterfly, and a very unfortunate landing. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how a pop icon's space fantasy turned into the most memeable mission since Shatner hit zero gravity. And if you like your celebrity meltdowns with a side of satire, you're in the right orbit. Subscribe to Chatter Fuse, where we keep the scandals grounded, even when the stars don't. The launch itself, picture a $28 million influencer moment wrapped in a spacesuit. Katy Perry emerged from that capsule like a metaphysical goddess, clutching a daisy in one hand, declaring to no one in particular that she felt connected to Mother Earth, while hovering 60 miles above it. The press loved it. Headlines used words like historic, emotional, even transformative. You'd think she planted a flag on Mars. Meanwhile, footage rolled of her inside the capsule, floating, twirling, eyes closed, as if she'd unlocked the secrets of the universe in zero gravity, during an 11-minute ride that lasted just long enough to reheat a slice of pizza. Then came the moment that sealed it. As the capsule touched down, Katy knelt to the earth like a pilgrim returning from Mount Olympus and kissed the tarmac. Yes, full-on ground kiss. The kind of kiss you'd expect after surviving re-entry through a meteor shower, not from a luxury suborbital hop that Jeff Bezos sells with complimentary merch. No one was questioning her sincerity, not yet. But social media had started watching closely, and let's just say, subtlety didn't make the trip back with her. There were whispers. Why a daisy? Why the butterfly imagery? Was this a NASA mission or a perfume launch? Some fans cheered, others squinted, and then a single frame started circulating online. Cartoon Katy, big eyes, bigger daisy, captioned, "I feel altitude." That was the moment the altitude dropped. Not outside the capsule, but inside the culture. A roast was brewing, and Family Guy was already sharpening the knives. Somewhere between the Earth kiss and the daisy drifting in slow motion, the internet sensed blood in the cosmic water, and like clockwork, Family Guy delivered. The leak didn't come from FOX, of course. It surfaced online like a rogue transmission, a grainy clip labeled Unreleased Family Guy, Season 23, Space Cringe. Within hours, it had racked up millions of views, countless re-uploads, and full Reddit dissection threads. Even though everyone technically knew it wasn't real, no one cared. It was too good. In the first scene, cartoon Katy floats in zero gravity, eyes shut, daisy in hand, whispering, "I feel love. I feel connected." Cut to Stewie in an astronaut helmet, typing on a blinking mission control monitor that flashes, "Cringe detected, level 9. He sips juice from a sippy cup and mutters, "Someone tell her this isn't Coachella." It got worse. Peter Griffin appears on screen watching the launch replay. He squints, turns to Lois and asks, "So she paid $20 million to touch grass?" Lois replies, "She could have done that at our backyard barbecue for free." Cue laugh track. Cue Twitter storm. Then came the scene people couldn't stop reposting. Katy stands on a stage in her spacesuit, holding the daisy like a Grammy. A banner behind her reads, "First Pop Star in Space." The crowd goes wild. until a character suspiciously resembling Neil deGrasse Tyson walks up and quietly replaces the banner with one that says, "Participation Trophy." And just when viewers thought it was over, a final cutaway shows Stewie firing the daisy into deep space with a cannon saying, "At least something useful left the capsule." It wasn't just parody, it was demolition. And unlike most Family Guy skits that fade after a few days, this one took root. Clips circulated like wildfire. Commentators debated whether it went too far. Fans begged for the full episode. Some even started a petition to make the parody real. Katy's team? Radio silent. Because once Family Guy turns you into a punchline, there's no press release that can float you back to earth. The clip had barely made its rounds before the internet detonated. Memes multiplied like rabbits in a TikTok algorithm. Katy Perry, astronaut, began trending worldwide, followed closely by one small step for PR, one giant faceplant for pop. Users stitched together side by sides, Katy gracefully floating with her daisy, next to Peter Griffin eating nachos in a recliner during simulated zero gravity. The daisy became its own meme economy. Someone even launched a parody crypto token called $DAISYCOIN with the tagline, "Feel the love, fund the cringe." But the most savage edits weren't even coming from teenagers in basements. Verified accounts, media commentators, even a few former pop stars weighed in. One reshared the Stewie clip with the caption, "Zero gravity, zero dignity." Podcasters jumped on it like it was the second moon landing. Megyn Kelly called the whole event a billionaire cosplay circus disguised as empowerment.
Katy Perry was quoted as saying, "We're putting the ass in astronauts." Okay, all right. You go, girl.
"It's not brave. It's not groundbreaking," she said. "It's a selfie with altitude," Patrick Bet David chimed in. By now, silence was no longer an option. The machine had to kick in, and it did. A carefully crafted press release was dropped like it was part of a recovery mission. It spoke of climate consciousness, female representation in tech, and the deeply personal meaning of carrying a daisy into space. There was even a quote about reclaiming celestial symbolism. It read less like a statement and more like something you'd find scribbled on the back of an astrology journal at a yoga retreat. Then came the pivot. Katy's team tried to reframe the narrative around environmental awareness. Clips resurfaced of her planting trees. An old Earth Day performance was reposted to her official account, complete with soft pan flute music and a butterfly emoji caption that read, "She protects what she flew above." But the internet wasn't buying it. Users started dubbing it the Cringe Control Campaign. One viral comment read, "You can't offset a Vanity flight with recycled quotes and a Canva graphic." Even worse, she was booked for a UN Earth panel. Yes, a real one. And the second that news broke, the memes wrote themselves. One photo edit had Katy at the panel, still in her spacesuit, handing out daisies to confused diplomats. The backlash to the attempted redemption was even more brutal than the original mockery. Late-night hosts latched onto it. Jimmy Kimmel joked that Katy Perry had achieved what no one else could, making outer space feel like an Instagram filter. Stephen Colbert held up a daisy and asked, "Is this the future of global leadership?" And yet, through all of it, she stayed painfully on brand. She posted a selfie wearing earth tone makeup, captioned, "Grounded." At that point, even her PR felt AI generated, like someone had fed the words space, love, nature, and damage control into a bot and just hit send. It was overproduced, overthought, and most of all, completely out of sync with the way people were actually feeling. Because this wasn't just about one celebrity in orbit. This was about every over-polished, hyper-curated, tone-deaf spectacle we've been force-fed for years. Katy wasn't crashing because she went to space. She was crashing because she came back and tried to pretend it meant something deeper than it did. And while she was busy crafting captions, a new wave of parody was gathering, louder, sharper, and even more brutal than before. What began as a carefully choreographed mission to elevate Katy Perry physically and metaphorically, ended up launching her straight into the upper atmosphere of public ridicule. She went up hoping to inspire. Instead, she became a cartoon character in someone else's punchline. A daisy, a butterfly, a spacesuit, all handpicked to symbolize connection, healing, and earthbound love, are now permanently stamped onto meme culture as symbols of tone-deaf theatrics. She didn't just fly to space, she flew headfirst into satire. And when Family Guy gets involved, the damage isn't just reputational, it's generational. You're not just a headline, you're an episode rerun waiting to happen. So yes, the space trip backfired. Not because Katy went too far, but because she tried to pass a sponsored spectacle off as soul-searching. And the internet, in all its chaotic wisdom, called the bluff. Now, when people hear Katy Perry went to space, they don't think of science or ambition, they think of a cartoon daisy, floating aimlessly, just like the narrative. And as for that second Family Guy roast, real or not, it didn't matter. Because in the age of satire, perception is reality, and this reality came crashing down at terminal velocity. If you enjoyed this spacewalk through celebrity culture's upper limits, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Chatter Fuse, where we don't just follow the stars, we follow their meltdowns all the way back to Earth.